Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. In the previous episode, we fought the Anaheim Ducks through 7 games and managed to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. But before we talk about that series, we have to hype the Stanley Cup Finals up a little bit more. Start from the very beginning. St. Louis, 6 games. 3 of them went to OT, and we won 1 of them. And that was the most important one. And we won in 6 games. Christian Pettersson had 1 awful game, 1 great game. 1 meh game, 1 great game. 1 meh game, 1 great game. And that was enough for us to win in 6. I thought St. Louis was a pretty good team. Had some weird coaching decisions, but we won either way. The second round was a tough one. Even though we won 5, if there was a team to beat us in the West, it was the second best team in the NHL. 58 wins from the Colorado Avalanche, and we beat them in 5 games. One of them was in OT. The other one we lost 7-6. That was a barn burner. But we won either way. And that was the team to beat. If there was a team to beat us, it was that one. For sure. The Western Conference Finals is where things got a little more interesting. We saw a lot of really awesome individual performances. Even in the games we lost, we saw some great performances from Kel Newman, who decides to score goals whenever he feels like it. I'm gonna say that now. He's been our MVP. 8-4 victory in game number 1. 4-2 loss. I'm like, okay, it's 1-1 heading to Anaheim, and we sweep them on their home ice through the games 3-4. 4-1 win, 4-2 win. Pettersson with a few really good games there. And then we go back to Minnesota with a chance to end the series, and we blow it in overtime with a great late game comeback to force overtime. Kel Newman with a really late goal, and we drop it in overtime. Game number 6, I'm like, okay, we just need strong defense, strong goaltending, and a few goals to win this series. We lose 6-4, and I'm like, okay, they forced a game 7 after being down 3-1. I've seen this before. We've been on the receiving end, and we've also dished out that punishment. Pettersson has his best game of the postseason, a 3-0 shutout in Game 7. He's been either our greatest strength or our biggest weakness. But we're here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Before we talk about the Boston Bruins, we must talk about the boys. Wow, I said that terribly. We must talk about the boys in green. Through 18 games, Kel Newman has been an all-star. 26 points, 19 goals. He's putting over a goal per game. He's been the Messiah, Kel Newman. After Kirill Kaprizov left to the KHL, it's canon, he stepped up as the top right winger. He might not be playing the first line right wing position, but he is destroying everybody in his path. He's been the most underrated player on this squad his entire career. It's a fact. I feel like he's won a Conn Smythe. He's currently the best player on this squad during the postseason. You don't just go up and put 19 goals and then not be a good player. Over a goal per game. How many players have ever done that in the postseason ever? I know he's probably going to fall flat sooner or later, but if we want to win the Stanley Cup, he needs to keep it going. Harrison Hadar keeps checking things off the list. 23 points in 18 games as a sophomore, but in his second straight Stanley Cup Finals, with a 99 offensive awareness, this guy is a legit playmaking machine. He's not going to score you many goals, but he's going to pass the puck like a wizard. He's been very impressive. Sergei Gogolev is playing third line time. He's put up 8 goals and 19 points. He's +6. Few penalty minutes. 1 game winner. Can't take that away from him. He's been good. As a third liner, he continues to step up. Anthony Francis. Now, Anthony Francis has been a confusing player the last few postseasons. Last year, he put up 24 points. He wasn't even the most dominant player during last year. During the last postseason. 26 points the last full postseason. 17, meh. 25, not too shabby. I wish we could go back to the 39 points in 22 games. I wish. 18 points in 18 games is pretty darn good. He stepped up a few times last series with 10 goals, 8 assists. If he's a point per game, I'm okay with that. Another point per game player, Louis Langweeder. 29 years of age. I talked about him a lot last video at the beginning when we talked about the stats. He's always been super underrated, just kind of in the same boat as Cale Newmanen. Obviously not the best, obviously not as talented as Newmanen. He's 6'5". He's had 90-point seasons. He's had a few point per game season. He puts up goals and goals after goals. He's almost at 400 in his career. We finally put him back on the power play, and he got back to where he should have been. And he's been great. Alexei Petrangelov continues to not be his normal self. 16 points in 18 games. I can't be upset considering everybody else in front of him is being have been playing awesome. But everybody I've just talked about needs to step up. Hudobin. I don't know why I pronounce the K. Whoop-de-doo. 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points, +5. He's 88 overall. He's young. Wish he was a little bit better since he's getting that first line time. The only reason I'm keeping Cale Newmanen on the second line is because of how well he's playing there, and it seems to be working. Him and Harrison Hadar are a combo. And Langmeter. Duh. He needs to be better, though. Schoon only had 1 point, or 1 point that playoff series, but I still really like him. 2 game winners, can't take that away from him. Bobby Lev stepped up that series with 3 points in 7 games. A bunch of players who didn't have any points got a few. All of them got over 2, except for Habibulin, the 4th line center. He's now a plus player, which is a huge positive for us. McKinnon with 2, Kreider with his first 2 ever postseason goals with 1 game winner, Bobby Lev with 3. So everybody got better, but there were a few iffy performances here and there. Defense. Quinn Hughes is the man. He might even contend for a Conn Smythe, same with Brandt Clark, who won it last year. Both these guys are neck and neck. They are the 2 best defensemen in the NHL. Quinn Hughes, man. How many postseason points does this guy have? How many? I almost read 1,300. I'm like, damn, that's impressive. 210 in 231 games. Since he's been in here in Minnesota, I don't think he's missed any postseason time. I mean, he missed the 1 season. Yeah, 1 season he was here. No, yeah. Yeah, the first year he was here in Minnesota, he missed. But every year after that, he's been the man. And I'm going to be so upset when he leaves. But he's the captain for now, and I love him so much. Brandt Clark is in the same boat. He's been so damn good. Bisson had 11 points, 1 game winner, can't take that away from him. Harry Parrish with 8 points, just as good. Enlund with 2 goals, didn't put up any points, but he's a +2 with 0 penalty minutes, which is a huge positive. Grossman got his first 2 points of the postseason, is a +5, 4 penalty minutes. He's definitely stepping up. Now, as I said before, our greatest strength or our biggest weakness, Christian Pettersson. I don't like talking about goaltending, but he is voodoo. All goaltenders are voodoo. Like last year at a .915 throughout the postseason. Great postseason. The first ever postseason he started when Cody Tallender sucked. He came in, put up a few really good games. He's 4 wins away from his 2nd Stanley Cup. I believe in him. I'm putting my faith in him again. But let's talk about the playoff tree. Obviously, we know how Minnesota got here, But the Boston Bruins, they beat my favorites from the East, the Detroit Red Wings. No, they're not my favorite team. They've sucked in this franchise mode, and I want to see them do good. Beat them in 5. They beat Toronto in the second round. Surprising it was in the first, in 6 games. They go on to beat their original 6 counterpart, actually 3 straight series playing original 6 teams, which is really, really cool. Oh, that's so fun. Whatever. There was no original 6 team in the West anyways, but we're the best team to beat. They beat the Rangers in 7. Boston, Minnesota in the finals. Now, we have a lot of history. That is a fact. Boston went 48, 26, and 8 in the regular season. 500 in the last 10 games towards the postseason. But they are here for a reason. They've beat some really awesome teams. But the Boston Bruins and us have a little history, as I said before. We can go all the way back to the year, I want to say it was the year 2022 or 2023. The first overall pick, Boston was willing to give up. And we made a massive trade. We traded them Kevin Fiala, Trevor Wong, who we had drafted the year previous, a bunch of assets. And that first overall pick turned out to be the best player in the NHL, Anthony Francis. We have a lot of history. We've made a lot of trades with them throughout history. See, Chris Griffin, that's the name I forgot in the last video when I said the best third liner in the NHL. Chris Griffin. But now he's a second liner. We have a lot of history, and we're finally here in the Stanley Cup Finals. A player that I know all about, Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode legend, Joshua Waugh. 30 years of age, he's been pretty damn good with the Boston Bruins. 1,042 points, 633 goals, 2 straight 70-goal seasons. He is legitimately their best player. Might, at the end of his career, if he stays in Boston, might be one of their best players all time. He's looking for a Stanley Cup. His wingers make his job a little bit easier. The 27-year-old Matthew Pickard, former first overall pick. Every series, it seems like we go up against former first overall picks. And then they have the right winger, who is a former 5th overall pick. They've done a lot of really awesome drafting their entire time we've done this franchise mode. 27 years of age. I was looking at Joshua Waugh. 27. Pretty good throughout the postseason. Consistent 50-plus point producer. Joshua Waugh definitely anchors down that first line. The second line has a few former Minnesota Wild. Trevor Wong never actually played a game for the Wild. We had drafted him 11th overall in 2021. He was our top-rated center prospect at that point. We traded him to Boston. We thought it made sense, and it definitely has paid off with 6 Stanley Cups. I don't want to get my hopes up just yet. How has he done here in Boston? How has he done? 769 points, nice, in 983 games. The last few seasons have been his best. He's put up a few point-per-game seasons. Or just the one. Yeah, just the one. But he's been a pretty consistent player throughout his career. Definitely a playmaking machine. I'm glad we have Anthony Francis, though. His left winger, or technically he's a center, Vyacheslav Chubasov, who is a former Minnesota Wild. How long has it been since we've had him? Because I remember him. He played 2 seasons with us. It's weird because I can't even remember him playing for us. It's weird. But he's here. And so that second line is made up of completely former Minnesota Wild. Oh, that just hurts. And my favorite amongst these guys, Chris Griffin. 31 years of age, best former third liner in the NHL, half point per game in his career, a 30-goal season for him. He spent his entire career in Minnesota, 2 seasons in Iowa, was definitely one of my favorite Minnesota Wild. Consistent 40-point guy, 49 points this regular season, and a 30-goal campaign. Yeah, that second line is just salt in the wound. Third line, Pierre Savard, who's 26, former second-round pick. Antonio Stranges, and then you got Christian Fischer. That's an older third line. I mean, Savard's pretty young, 26, not too old, right in the middle. That's a really good third line. Fourth line, Logan Brown, 6'6" machine. You got Pinelli, and then you got Oleg Kepitonov. So as you can see, we have history. That second line just makes me a little sad. But this team is here for a reason. They have a damn good offensive core. Their defense, very similar to teams we faced in the last few rounds. They have their two top guys, 36-year-old Charlie McAvoy and a 36-year-old Jakob Chychrun. Chychrun, right? I said that right. Whatever. 16th overall pick, and McAvoy was what? 14th overall. Two really awesome defensemen, but they're surrounded by a bunch of depth guys. Two really old guys in Vakanainen and then Palut. But they're here for a reason. Their goaltender, we know all about him. Gregor De Vries, 30 years of age, 17th overall pick by the Montreal Canadiens. He left via free agency right off of his entry-level deal. He's been with Boston, one win shy of 400. He's lost a lot of games in his career, though. But he has found success here this season, making it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. This is his first time in the finals. He is ready to win a Stanley Cup. They're scratch players. Michael McLeod, and then you got Cole Huckins. This is a pretty good team. Their defense is to be desired. Obviously, we have the best defense in the NHL, and it's hard comparing defensive cores. But is history on our side? I would say we've won every trade we've made with Boston. We've won 3 straight series, same as them. Actually, well, we won a Stanley Cup last year, so this is our seventh straight series win. We're looking for Stanley Cup number 7 and our second in a row. We win them in bunches. We won 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 1, and then we're looking for 2 in a row. Game number 1, home ice. Here we go. First period. 2-2. They open the scoring. Chris Griffin, obviously. Anthony Francis ties the game. Joshua Waugh takes the lead. And then Hudobin ties the game. Shots are dead even, 11-11. Second period. 3-3. Yet again, Joshua Waugh's second goal of the game. We know he's going to be dangerous. And then Harry Parrish with a short-handed goal. Shots are pretty even. So, the goalies are going to win this game. 3-3 heading into the third period. One goal will probably win it. Alexei Pietrangelo with the game-breaking goal. How would you tiebreaker? 4-3. Minnesota. Brandt Clark from the blue line, making a 2-goal game. Gregor De Vries lets in a few here in the third period, and that will be enough for the Minnesota Wild to take game 1 on home ice. Grossman with an empty netter. I will take that. 41 shots on the evening. Pietrangelo with a very strong game. Hudobin with probably his strongest game of the postseason. Numminen, make sure you keep that over a goal per game average. 19-19. I need everybody to step up. Game number 2, home ice. First period. Oh, right off the gate. Cale Numminen, I call him, and he receives that message, and he's like, Boston, I'm putting down the phone. Screw you, I'm scoring a goal. 20 goals in 20 games. Grossman making it 2-0. That's 2 goals in 2 games for Grossman. We're obliterating them in shots, 17-9. Second period. Oh, yes, another 2-goal period. Enlund and Parrish. Oh, absolute beauties. 3 blue liners in this game. Stepping it the hell up. Shots are in our favor. 33-24. Goal lead heading into the third period. Come on, Minnesota, just hold on to the lead. 4-goal game. If you blow this, I swear to God, I'll throw my goalie into the sun. 4-0. 10 minutes left. Harrison Hadar with another goal. I believe that's number 2 on the postseason. almost exactly halfway through this period, and 5 goals should be enough to secure a 2-0 series lead heading to the TD Gardens in Boston. Pettersson with a shutout. Big game for him. Big game for everybody involved. Cale Noonan has a 20-goal campaign in the postseason. That's nuts. 2-0, TD Gardens. They either cut the series lead in half or we take an absolute stranglehold. Game number 3. Here we go. First period. 1-0. Alexei Petrangelov, quarter of the way through the period, doubling them up in shots, 14-7. Ooh, good period. Second period. Oh my God, you killed him! Gregor DeVries has no answer. 7-1 Minnesota. Gogolev, Bobulev, Harrison Hadar, Petrangelov, Francis, Hudobin. Chris Griffin gets one on the board, but no. This is over. 3-0 Minnesota. Logan Brown, doesn't matter. If you score 5 more, you deserve to win this game. That's just a fact. Because, seriously, if we blow a 5-goal lead, it's your own fault. 7-2. A phenomenal second period. Cale Noonan keeping up the goal per game average. Sergei Gogolev, 9-2. A phenomenal Game 3. McKinnon with a last-minute goal, making it a 10-2 game. Harrison Hadar with a phenomenal performance. Cale Noonan, everybody involved in that game was phenomenal. Minnesota is on the verge of winning their franchise's 2nd Stanley Cup in a row and their 7th Stanley Cup in total. Minnesota. Close it out. Anaheim, you had a chance to close it out really early and you let it go to 7. There's no excuses. We have been on the receiving end of a sweep. We've also reverse sweeped, so we know both feelings. We know how it feels. Boston is a damn good team, and you just riled them up with a 10-2 loss. Or victory for us, a loss for them. They are mad. The press is probably on them like, how do you go into your home ice and lose 10-2 by 8 goals? We're in TD Gardens. I wonder what it feels like to celebrate in Boston. Game number 4, a chance for a Stanley Cup number 7. First period. 1-0 Boston. A great defensive period for them. Why is our backup in the net? Why is Arsenal in the net? EA, for the love of God. Can you do so? Why would they put... Why? Why? If this screws... second period. Why is Arsenal in the net? Why is he in the net? Why is Arsenal in the net? EA, he better not be injured. Pettersson not... We cut the... Oh, I gotta stop it. Stop freaking out on him. Kreider cuts a lead in half. Third period underway. In Boston. Power play for Boston. Killing it off. Come on, Minnesota. Come on, Minnesota. Come on, Minnesota. Power play for Boston. Oh, God. Cale Noonan keeping that goal per game average. Power play. Power play. Oh, power play. Oh, Boston takes the lead late. And they secure the victory. Heiskanen with his 2nd goal. And Boston wins a game. Now, oh, Pettersson was hurt. No! Arsenal. Oh, God, no. Pettersson, the moment you were having phenomenal games, you have to go and break your bones? Oh, no. Oh, Leighton, welcome to the club. I'm so upset. I'm so mad. I'm so sad. Pettersson was doing phenomenal in the Stanley Cup Finals. So it wasn't EA's fault, but it is their fault because he got injured. But Arsenal, Pettersson was doing so good in the finals. He was doing so good in the finals. And now our fates rest on the shoulders of our backup goaltender who has not been super great in his career. 22 wins, 2 straight 20-win seasons. Actually, he was really good in the NHL this season. His postseason record doesn't, nope. So he's the starter. Minnesota, you can't let this kill you. Please, for the love of God, don't let this kill you. 3-1 in the series. Home ice. Here we go. First period. Oh, of course! Our backup can't stop a puck to save his life. Harrison Hayter got a goal, though. Oh, don't let this be the death of us. Pettersson, I miss you so much. I know I've crapped on you before, but man, you've been the best player in this Stanley Cup Final. You were so good. You were so good, and then you had to go and break your bones. Second period. Oh my God, we got 2 back. Brant Clark and Harry Parrish from the blue line. Actually, not on the blue line, but they're blue liners. 26 shots to 18 in our favor. Minnesota, it is a 1-goal game. A Stanley Cup in your grasp. Third period. Here we go, Minnesota. Come on, Minnesota. Oh, Joshua Waugh, obviously. Damn it. Arsenal, for the love of God, Kale Newman and keeping that goal per game average. Can we get a goal back? Come on, Minnesota. Come on, Minnesota. Please, Minnesota. Minnesota, please. Minnesota, for the love of God, please. Minnesota, please. Minnesota, please. Arsenal, you dumb, stupid goaltender. What? You just stop a puck. That's another game where we tie the game and then you let it up late and that's how it goes. It's 2 straight 1-goal losses. Game 6. Arsenal. Arsenal, no. Game 6, I have nothing to say. Offense just needs to legit win it. First period. 2-1 Boston. Arsenal, for the love of God, hold a lead. Please. Gogolev with the power play goal. McAvoy with 2 straight goals. Second period. Arsenal, you stupid! I'm sending you into the sun. You're no longer our backup. You're no longer our backup. You suck at hockey. You had one job. Don't let in 5 goals a game. You're 84 overall. You should be able to do that. You should be able to do that. Pettersson, I miss you so much. Pettersson, you deserve a raise. I'm not even looking. I'm not even looking. Screw they put Leighton in the whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Losing our starting goaltender apparently affects us now. And they forced a game 7. I jinxed the hell out of this series. I said, oh, you know what? Maybe it feels nice to celebrate in Boston. And now we're heading back home. Arsenal, you absolute tool. You're a tool. You're a tool. That is what you are. You have an 855. We were up 3-0. You just had to play average hockey. Like 900 hockey. That's all you had to play. Like .900 hockey. An 850. Oh no. If they reverse sweep us, I swear to God. Oh, Minnesota, where are the hockey gods? Please don't let this happen. Don't let Pettersson don't let his injury be the thing that kills us. We're too good for this. Game 7. Home ice. Do or die. Slow sim. Here we go, Minnesota. Joshua Waugh scores early. Oh my God, screw you, Arsenal. Screw you, you suck. You're out of Minnesota. You blew a 3-0 series lead. You blew a 3-0 You did it. You did it, man. 3-1 Boston. Scootin'. 3-2. Please. For the love of God, Arsenal. I hate this game. I hate it so much. He's 84 overall. Man, he's 84 overall. And they're about to reverse sweep us. They're about to reverse sweep us. Power play for... It doesn't matter anymore. I'm sending him into the sun. Bobby-Lev. It's a 1-goal game. Again. Bissonnette ties it. 4-4 Minnesota. 4-4 Minnesota and Boston. Whatever. Power play for Boston. How many penalties are we going to have to take, Minnesota, to get it through your thick skull? And to stop taking penalties, Minnesota! I have nothing to say. We'll either win it or we'll lose it. It doesn't matter at this point, right? We blew it, we blew it. We blew it. We blew it. Thank you, Arsenal. Thank you. Thank you. You had to play average hockey. Are we really gonna go like this? We're really gonna go? We're really? Really? 2 minutes left. Minnesota, please do something. I'm done. I'm done with this game. Screw you, Arsenal. I'm sending you into the goddamn sun. I'm not looking at the 3 stars. Are you kidding me? Pedersen, we were up 3-0 in the series. Arsenal! You tool! You blew it! 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 You blew it!